So I'm here with my man, Sharif Shakoor. What's going on, brother?
Coach Jay, what's up, man?
Good to see you, man.
Always, always.
So how's everything been?
Everything's been good, man. Maintaining during the pandemic, trying to keep my mind healthy. I can't really complain. It was a blessing a little bit, the pandemic, in a way.
In a way, right? Yeah. There's always two sides to everything, right? So it's not just a one way to look at it, right?
Yes, sir.
So any new exciting things or concerning things that's kind of occurred during that time?
Well, of course, the new spot that we're opening up, the spot JC, which is on 15 Wilkinson, which can be misleading because it covers up Arlington Avenue, the big building.
Yeah.
Goes all around to Garfield. And we have the for-profit, which is the Spot LLC, and we have the non-profit Spot JC Foundation, which we're going to run the youth programming out of.
Oh, okay.
So that happened during the pandemic. You know, we had a lot of time on our hands to get real creative.
Yeah, right.
Start taking risks, you know?
Yes. Without no risk, no reward, right?
That's true. No risk, no reward.
So you said it's broken up into two. So you got the for-profit and the non-profit. So
Yep.
So explain the difference. Well, obviously there's difference of money and how that works, but you know the mission, I guess, behind that.
Gotcha.
Right?
Well, we looked at it like being transparent. We wanted to show that we're trying to be entrepreneurs, creatives, and community service people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've already been doing the work like with the hip hop ed stuff and mental health. But now the nonprofit there's a home for it.
Right.
So the for-profit side is actually physically, it's the side of the space that you can rent it out for events and bridal showers, baby showers, small parties, whatever like that. And the right side will be the recording studio and the print shop, which the main purpose of that will be to work with the youth. You can mix some for-profit stuff in there if small businesses want to use it, but it's going to be mainly used for the Spots JC Foundation so that we can create hip-hop content with the youth, things that are all going to be based around character building and education.
Oh, good. That's a great mission, man. I love to see it. You always got my support. You know that 100%.
Thank you.
So yeah, so how did the idea come up? Like, where did the idea start? Was it, you wanted to do that a long time ago? Did it just kind of come up to you during the time frame of the pandemic? Or?
Well, I wanted to do it for a long time, to do my own thing, because I've been doing it for other people for so long. But my partner, Terrence, he is I would say he's the driving force behind taking the risk, because he said he kind of watched me for a little while, seeing what I was doing, and he already had that, that business acumen side to him. Right. So it's like a balance.
Right.
And when he came to me with the idea, he was basically taking what I was already doing and merging it with the vision that he had, and I bought in.
Yeah.
So it was just like a match made in entrepreneur heaven. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it was just like, this is what you do. These are your strengths. These are my strengths, and the idea was born. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So visionary, creative, business person, and then you're both creatives, obviously. But he, like you say, he had to make a little bit more business acumen. Already had it going. You had a big vision. He said, well, let's make that vision come to life, and that's what
merged
happened.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell me about your experience, outside of the spot, right? So what do you do? Like, I know what you do, but let people know what you do, right?
I would say that before anything, I'm gonna say I'm an artist, because if you I always say, if you put a gun in my head, which hopefully you won't, but if you
hopefully
do,
not.
Not today.
Don't do that.
But if you put a gun in my head, I'm always gonna choose the art form for me, whether it's writing, music, whatever it is, whatever form of expression I choose for that moment, it's always going to be the first thing I am by default. And then the professional side of it is that I'm a licensed teacher, a licensed guidance counselor, and a licensed therapist. So what I started to do was merge my professional side with my creative side and make it one.
Yeah.
Because now that I can't unsee, you were a hip hop artist. You're still into music and engineering. So when we came up, when we would rap, there was a certain sound. Like there's a certain content that you would create.
Right.
But as I got older and into becoming a teacher, I couldn't unsee some of the things that I saw with the kids. So now my music is changing, my content is changing, and I'm like, hey, might as well go straight Mr. Rogers and choose, you know what I mean? And choose education and hip hop.
Right. No, that's good. That's good. I mean, that shows the growth, right?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of is, in my opinion, what you don't see a lot in hip hop, at least the current state of it.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't see the growth of the artists. They want to stay the way they used to stay. They don't want to show the human side. They don't want to show their vulnerability. You know, they don't want to show maturity. They just want to still be, you know,
compete
quote
with
unquote,
with the youth.
Right.
Can't do that.
Nah, can't do that.
My back hurt, you know.
Right, we gotta be somebody else. You know, we gotta grow. We gotta show them that there. Also, that's another thing. We gotta show them that there is another path. Like as you go from 25 to 35 to 45, you can step into this now as you go.
Yep.
You know, instead of still trying to be 25 when you're 45.
And there's no boundaries. Like you create the standard. You know, I think Jay-Z helped that a lot. Like, you know, at one point it was just like, and Nas too. Like it was just like, after a certain age, hip hop was just like, you know, we don't hold up our legends like we should. Musically.
Yes. Yeah.
But now you've extended it as long as your content matches your lifestyle. Yeah. It reflects it.
It reflects it. Yeah. You're being more honest and more authentic about it.
Yeah.
Yep. So being a teacher, how has that been during this whole situation that we've been in with COVID? I know, especially in the manner that you like to teach, I see that you're really involved with the kids in the classroom, and you use a lot of examples of music. You know, has that been, you know, a challenge for you now, or have you still been in school, or you've been doing it virtually? It's
been tough. Like the professional side of teaching, like me working for the Board of Ed, that's been really tough because there's no interaction, no in-person interaction. That's completely has been shut off over the last year and some change. And my creative side, like the educational program that I was doing with the hip hop ed and stuff like that has completely stopped because of, you know, just because of liability issues. I didn't want to, you know, under my own business insurance and stuff, I didn't want to organize that during the pandemic. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But we're opening back up, so I'm gonna get back to that with the spot. You know.
Oh, perfect. So right, it's your own now.
It's my own now.
Yeah.
So it lines up. But with the Board of Ed, man, it's been tough, man. Like even working after school, teaching, keeping kids engaged, because if you're teaching, like let's say for an after school program, and you have kids that have been online all day, they're not gonna want to log on after school unless you're really helping them with a specific issue that they need help with. They're not logging on to talk about no extra stuff. Right. You know, they don't want to hear that.
They're ready to move on offline.
Exactly.
And, you know, do some other things. Yeah. You know, these are the things that we don't know. You know, not being in your shoes and not being in, you know, involved in the settings and how challenging it is. So, you know, kudos for, you know, all the teachers like yourself and educators who have to manage all of that, you know, because we take it for granted. I don't even know, because my daughter's, you know, she's not school age yet, young, but you know, eventually I will have to find out how hard it is, you know, via you know, guys like yourself. So,
and it's challenging because even like I have to be, because I work in the school system. When my kids go to school, I see that their teachers get frustrated, and I can tell like they're having a bad day because they're nitpicking at certain things. But I have to be mindful. I'm like, I can just tell by looking at her on the Zoom that she had enough. You know what I mean? So I won't respond with hostility. I'll be understanding and just like, you know what? Whatever you say. You know what I mean?
Plus, you know, you get to, you know, as an educator, you get to talk to your kids in a way that might, you know, kind of undo that pressure that the teacher put on them and say, listen, this is what they're going through.
Exactly.
Daddy does it for a living too. So, you know. You got it. You good. You know.
You good. We worry about the long haul, not this stuff right here.
Right. Exactly. Forward thinking. Yeah. So personally, as an artist, you know, what are you doing right now other than the spot? Are you creating new music? Or are you just concentrating more on the education part of it, or anything new you're thinking about?
Creatively, I've been trying to focus on putting together little short documentary clips about my life. I think I'm gonna work on another album. It's gonna be something completely educational, completely different. No curses, completely clean, and it's something that I'm gonna try to give it that. I'd hate to say one last push because I don't want it to sound like, you know, like there's an expiration date on it, but I'm gonna give another solid push to do something innovative through hip hop and education that I think is gonna be really dope.
Nice. Very good.
Maybe we can get you on there.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm down for it. I dust off some of the stuff, you know.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get the keyboard out and, you know, Pro Tools, see what we could do. So I'm down for that. So what's the vision for it, you know, like musically? Like, what sound do you want to go for? You know, we know it's going to be educational.
Yeah, the content is educational. Yeah. That's probably my biggest dilemma and why I haven't been recording as much, because I want to go in a direction where I can stay true to myself, but I definitely don't want to sound like what's out there at all. But I think there's a strategic way, production-wise, that you can sound modern but stay soulful. Yeah. You know what I mean? Certain artists do a good job of that, like Kendrick does.
Yeah, Kendrick is good
Kanye's example. Production-wise, sometimes he does that. J. Cole sometimes. So, you know, I've been trying to find that sound to where I don't sound dated, but I also don't sound like what's up. Right. You know? Yeah. But that middle ground is there. I'll just have to keep searching.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you want it to be digestible, you know, to the current group of people, because you're targeting a certain demographic, obviously. So you want it to be palatable to them, but you also want to give your own unique message, of course, and along with that. So very cool.
You're not gonna hit me, nah. None of that.
Nah. Which I don't know why that exists, you know. Yeah, I'm a hater. I am.
I'm 35 now, so call me uncle now.
Yeah. So mental health is big for you, right? I know I see a lot of the content around that. You know, so you know how does that play a part in your life? Like,
well, I don't know if you can believe this or not, but I didn't really talk as a kid. I didn't really talk.
No.
So no, I was like Kawhi Leonard don't talk like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Wow. So, like, because I absorbed so much and I had seen so much and I never talked about it, it wasn't until like I got like around, I would say like 27, that there were things that like people in my family didn't know about me that I finally started to express, because I was having like a nervous breakdown.
Oh wow.
You know, because like when you like hold on to things so much and you carry it, and you try to fight your way through everything by, like, you know, like if somebody, that's just like not mourning. If someone dies and you never mourn and you just hold on to it, at some point you're gonna cry, or it's gonna
come out of you just random,
you know,
and it's not gonna be within the time frame where it happened.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So when I turned about 27 to 28 and I was going through like that nervous breakdown, I had no idea what that was. That was unheard of to me.
Yeah,
you know?
Like, well, you know what it means, right?
What the hell is that? And then me being a generally calm, cool person, so I knew something wasn't right with me. You know what I mean? So that made me start researching. This is before I got the license as a therapist and all of that. So once I started researching, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm
going
bugging.
through this.
I'm going through it a little bit. And it just encouraged me to let all of that go. You know, and I started to look at it from a different perspective, and I started to feel like, you know, I thought I was the only one in the world going through this, because this was like,
brand new.
Yeah. And I just said, I'm gonna give it to the world, because somebody, and then of course down the line you start seeing like, oh, everybody, like,
a lot of people are going through the same thing, right?
Exactly.
I guess, you know, what's a good question is, what is a nervous breakdown? Because I don't know if I truly know what it is. I mean, obviously I know it's a traumatic thing, but what is a nervous breakdown? I guess in the definition of mental health, and you know, which you would be the expert on. So
I would say that, of course, it's gonna look different for everyone, right? Like for a lot of men, let's just say this dude is like, I don't know, he might be punching holes in walls and he's angry because that's more acceptable to him. Right. But he's really in pain and he's hurting. Whereas another guy might be in the corner crying or something like that. And two completely different expressions of emotion, but same. They're both going through some pain.
Oh, I see.
But a good way to describe a nervous breakdown would be the feeling of burnout. Like when you just completely burned out from something.
Yeah.
And then the next level to it is the symptoms that go along with the burnout, like the loss of desire to do everything that you love to do.
Yeah.
You could go through panic attacks during a nervous breakdown. Could be having stuff like high blood pressure.
Yeah.
All these physiological symptoms that just you can just tell that your mind and body are no longer centered and in sync.
Yeah.
And your body going through a nervous breakdown, your body is telling you, you have to listen to it, that you're doing something wrong and you need to rework how you're treating yourself.
Right. Yeah, it could be a whole lot of things happening to you, especially from a physiological standpoint. Your hormones could be out of whack because of that, because your mind controls your hormones. And your body, the input of what your body is doing and controls it also. So if both of those things are out of whack, like you said, then there's a whole lot of things happening chemically, that are doing you harm. So
it can be a scary thing, man, because for me, when it first happened to me, like, I'm not a crier. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But my temperament is not, I don't cry easily. So when I'm sitting in a car and I'm like crying, I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying?
You hit the wall.
I hit the wall. Exactly. I hit the wall. Panic attacks. And that was the only other time my blood pressure was high, because it was like it's a temporary spike. Because that fight or flight response that we get. And when that
heart rate goes straight up.
Heart rate goes up. And when that's happening for no apparent reason, on the surface it looks like no apparent reason. Because it's not like a raccoon jumped out on you when you know.
Outside stimulus is causing that. But if it's just you and a normal day-to-day thing, then you know something's not right.
You're over the edge.
Right.
Hit the wall, like you said. So.
Yeah, because you could be in your own head. I mean, I guess to some extent, I feel like I probably was in the same boat, over this COVID period, because everything changed, just abruptly, just like that. And you're dealing with being at home and the nervousness of doing things normally, and when I had a car accident, all these things. So
yes. Thank God you are. I saw the picture.
Yeah. I was lucky to just walk away from it, but the fact that it happened and I didn't even know it happened.
Wow.
It was the scary part,
scary.
or still why it happened.
Yeah.
So all of that, I think, caused me to have like a lot of nervousness that, what if I got in the car again and just it happened again?
It's traumatic.
Yeah.
You know what also adds another layer to it is that, like, when you have these feelings of like anxiety and stuff like that, and I've had it as a child, but I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
So sometimes ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
But once you get older and your mind is developed and you know everything, you know too much.
You know too much, yeah.
Man, you know what I mean? So it's like,
what's the old saying? Too smart for your own good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So now you're aware of what you're going through, and you have to try to make sure you're not trying to think yourself out of it, because that just causes more stress.
Yeah.
You just got to be and let everything come and pass.
Right.
Yep.
So I know this is going to be a big component for you at the spot,
Of course.
So what about, are adults going to be involved in it to some extent? Or, because I know a lot of adults probably need just as much counseling and healing as kids might need, especially going through things, because kids are not at the control that they have, in their life. But some adults have control, but they're out of control.
Yep. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
You're in the driver's seat, but you can't drive.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You have a license, at least to the world, as an adult, but you can't drive.
Yep.
Kids
metaphor.
can't drive. They're always in the back seat. So what happens to them is always someone else doing the driving. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. One thing I wanted to do at the spot is people like us, like I feel like you're a community leader, right? You have a business, but a lot of people that you work with, that's therapeutic to come to you as a coach. You know what I'm saying? As a leader, as someone they look up to.
Right.
I want to have safe places, safe spaces, whatever you want to call it, where people like us can come together, because we do so much for other people. Right. Like if you got a kid or even an adult that comes to the gym, you might notice that, they might be a little bit off today, or they might be, you could just tell something's not right. You carry that in some way, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
Because you're in a position of leadership. So I want to have people like us who can get together, who lead, and have a place for us to go and kind of like do stuff like this.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, definitely. That'd be great. You're right. That's a good point. A lot of the leaders take on a lot of their, I guess, followers, or recipients of their crafts. Because you're trying to make sure everybody's good. And sometimes when they're not good, you want to make them better, right? You want to make them feel better. Even as family leaders, right? As your patriarch of your family or something, you want to make sure everybody in the house is good. Your kids going through something, or your spouse is going through something, and they at work, you take it on. So yeah, I think these things we don't talk about a whole lot.
Not at all. Because we're so busy moving.
Yeah.
And that's like the one thing that, ironically, I had like that nervous breakdown or whatever when I was like 27, and that was the first time it had ever happened to me. And the second time was about a month ago.
Oh wow!
And it reminded me. It didn't stick around nearly as long because I know now.
Yeah, you're more aware. Yeah,
exactly. And I just rewired myself and completely made every change that I knew I needed to make, and it just felt great.
That's good. That's good.
Not money could cut everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Just some things, we just got to let happen.
Yep.
We try to control. I know me sometimes try to control everything. Try to control every aspect to make sure that it's going the way that I see fit. But sometimes when we let things just be, you're better off. I'm
that too. I don't want to control people, but I definitely will try to control, like you said, the things, the process.
Yeah. I try to close the system and say, this is Apple, not Android.
Yeah.
You want to be part of the ecosystem, you got to go through this. But sometimes you got to open it up to the developer market and let other people create and do things. Yeah.
Meanwhile, like I said, I'm responsible, and somebody somewhere so irresponsible snoring at night,
right?
And I'm sitting here rolling over,
trying to do everything right, trying to make sure everything, all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. And someone's like, just whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna live 30 years longer than I will.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So what are you doing personally, as far, I'm Coach Jason, so we talk about fitness and a whole bunch of other stuff. But what are you doing, exercise-wise to keep yourself healthy? And, because obviously mental health is one thing, but also got our physical side too. So what are you doing to keep yourself grounded in that area?
Well, of course, it's like they're married, because the physical, the less I work out, the more my mental suffers.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I did horrible in the beginning of the pandemic with working out.
We all did.
I sucked. You hear me? But now, like you said off camera, I've accepted the moderate approach to working out. Like, it's almost like, well, if I can't go out looking like 50 Cent, then I ain't gonna work out, or something like that.
Yep.
But I don't even care about strength as much anymore. I'm more about how do I feel inside.
Yes.
So I'm walking at least, I'm probably walking like 4 to 5 times a week now, as opposed to me feeling like I gotta hit the treadmill and run for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just keeping it moderate, and I ain't losing no weight yet, but I feel way better.
That's gonna matter more in the long run. Anyway.
Yes.
Because that feel better part is the balancing of the hormones.
Yep, absolutely.
And so the fat will come off eventually through that alone to some extent.
Yep. I agree.
Once everything else is lined up, right?
Yep.
It's just lining all of them up, But if you got an overtrained method, and then your mental is not right, it ain't gonna matter anyway. Because it's all out of balance. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing I will say that I did that was probably wrong. I live in Woodbridge now, so I walk to Subway, and I got the oatmeal cookies, and then I
you walk back.
Home. But it felt good though.
Well, maybe there's a net calorie there, a net
maybe.
zero, going on. Hopefully it's not too many. Oh, maybe not.
No.
It's all good though.
Yeah, man.
The next day got to carry over.
Yep.
But walking's underrated. I used to even underrate it because I was like, well, you're not doing enough intensity.
Me too. Yes.
But you know, obviously as a coach, you constantly learning and you learn and you realize that walking is actually, in most cases, better for everybody. You know, in a general sense, it ain't better for the elite athlete necessarily.
Yeah, of
because
course.
they have a whole nother set of things they got to get done. But for the everyday person, walking is going to do much better because running does more damage.
To your
especially
knees and
jogging.
things, right?
Yeah, especially jogging is the worst.
I
If
didn't know
anything, there's running, like hard running, super fast running. There's jogging and there's walking. Walking would be the best. Running would be second best, and then jogging the worst.
The worst.
Take that out of the equation.
What is it? What makes jogging the worst?
Because you're not running, so you're not going fast enough to take the impact off, right? Because the momentum of your speed will take the impact off your joints. And you're not going slow enough to get no impact with jogging. So you're right in the middle where you're getting all impact and no benefits of the running and no benefits of the walking. So
You probably
to me,
just tearing things up.
yep, doing more damage.
Makes sense now.
Yep, you're constantly doing this with a bottle
Yeah.
because you're going too slow. But if you just do this with the bottle, that's running.
Gotcha.
And if you just walk with the bottle, now the water's not moving,
Gotcha.
not less damage. But when you do this, all that squishing,
Yeah.
it's just doing
cartilage, everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's damage. I learned that, from one of the continual education stuff I had to go through for the training stuff, and I was like, you know what, that's a good point.
Yeah.
You're not getting the best of either one. You know.
No. So either I'll run or I'll walk.
Yep. And with running, like me personally, I like to sprint. Sprint.
Yes.
Hit the 100, sprint, stop, walk.
Absolutely. I
You know what I'm
agree. Yeah.
Because all the impact is going to happen super fast. It's not prolonged. The prolonged jogging, that's the worst.
Yeah,
It's the worst of the worst. So
the wear and tear.
yeah, you'd be better off, doing other things. Many other things you could do. Jumping jacks, you could do. Jumping rope, all these other things to get that middle ground kind of cardio. But,
And I wonder, like, if the concrete has something to do with it too. Like, if you're running,
yeah. There's no give.
no give.
Yeah. With the track and the dirt, there's flexibility in the ground. There's a little bit of movement, but with concrete, there's no stretching. So that impact comes straight back up to your cartilage and your joints. So no good.
Absolutely.
So even back here, like I train back here sometimes, but I do it for short periods, 30 seconds, stop. Do something like jumping jacks for 30 seconds or however many reps I'm doing, or jump rope for a certain amount of time, and I just cut it there. So yeah.
Took me to school today.
Yeah. I'm trying to learn from you guys just as much. So what about nutrition? What's the nutrition like?
I would say, like, in my late 20s, I was because I was really, really skinny all my life. Like, I'm thin, or I'm not saying I'm thin. I'm on the smaller frame side still, but I was really skinny all my life. So in my late 20s, I was just eating everything.
Yeah.
And I'm because I was so used to it not affecting my weight in any way.
Yeah.
But as you slow down, you're a father. Your lifestyle slows down. And then I looked up and I was just like 30 pounds heavier than I had ever been before.
Yeah.
And I was just eating. I've never been a bad eater, but I used to overeat.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is just as bad because you're just consuming. Your stomach is not but so big, on the inside.
Yeah.
And so I would say within the last 2 to 3 years, I've really been more mindful of what I eat or how I eat. Like, I'm really not a breakfast person. I'll drink like a shake for breakfast.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to just eat dinner. But I think the balance for me is the exercise, because if I don't, if I cheat, so of course you're gonna have cheat days.
Of course. Nobody's perfect.
No, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
I might have a cheat week.
Even the best trainers out there, they'll lie to you and tell you they eat clean, this and that. They'll lie.
Like the guy said, LeBron, you eat whatever you want. Tristan Thompson said that about LeBron one time.
Yeah.
But I'm just mindful. I try to be moderate. I'm not on a very strict nutrition diet, but I'm mindful, and I try not to overeat.
Yeah.
The Subway cookies, that was just like a thing
that's
that
your
day.
thing.
You know what I mean? but I just try to be mindful.
Yeah.
My blood work said I'm all right, so.
Oh, that's what matters.
Good,
that's what matters. Yeah. You know, once you listen to the blood work, you're doing it, often enough, you're straight. And I think you hit it on the head about overeating. That's probably the biggest issue for Americans, especially. Mm-hmm. Our portion sizes are out of control. Yes. We eat too much. I eat too much, even though I eat healthy most of the time. Yeah. It's the portions, right? It's just eating too much of one thing and not spacing it out, giving yourself time to digest. Yep. We don't do that enough. We're eating too often. Every 2 hours trying to eat. It can be okay if you're eating the right things. Yeah. But if we're not on top of eating too much, then you don't give yourself a chance to digest.
Has this ever happened to you? This is the mistake I used to make. Mm-hmm. Like, right, let's just say I had a great plan for the week. I had a shake, this here, fruit here, mm-hmm. and I was going well. It might be like 1 o'clock, and I had everything I needed. Yeah. But then you're like, man, it might be 3 o'clock, and it's like you really shouldn't be eating again until 7 or 6 or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you had the healthy stuff. Yeah. Then you ate something that was not so, I won't say not so healthy, mm-hmm. but if you ate a sandwich, but you already had the shake. Yeah. So now you didn't messed everything up. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like overconsumption.
Overconsumption. It sent you over, and then it probably opens the door to doing it again.
Exactly.
Because you got that taste, you got that feeling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. Happens all the time.
It's a battle, man.
Yeah. It's never just something you just get and then, that's it, and then forever you're doing. It's constant. It's a constant evolution. Yep. That has to keep happening. So you have to constantly pay attention to yourself every day, week, each meal, and be like, all right, what did I eat last? Mm-hmm. How much exercise did I have the last couple of days? And then you got to kind of follow that to keep you on track. Yes. So that's the hard part. Yeah. For me, a lot of times what I do is I try to, especially like you said, not eating breakfast mm-hmm. or not having a lot of breakfast. If I overeat the day before, especially if it's late, then I'll skip the breakfast the next morning. Yep. Especially, because you want to start digesting. Yes. Digestion is the biggest component because you still have it in your system. So you need to allow your body to start doing work. But if you overload it, then you don't give it a chance to do the work. Yep. Because it's almost like a factory. You take in the workers from the digesting side mm-hmm. to go to the eating side. Yep. Now they doing half the job, you know what I'm saying? Yep. They ain't doing the job of digesting anymore. They doing the eating job. So you gotta let it work. You gotta let it work before you start putting new stuff in. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I do that all the time. Like especially if those days where you might eat too late mm-hmm. and it's like I try to the next morning, I'll even try to fast. Somewhat of like an intermediate fast, you know, mm-hmm. and maybe I won't eat till 1 o'clock. Yeah. Hopefully I didn't eat too bad to where I'm good by then. Right. Because sometimes you even still, you still might feel the heaviness. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's still in your body doing something. Yeah. And the thing is, sometimes it's not even how much you eat matters, but also what you eat and what it does to you matters. Like the hormones that it affects and the processes in your body start affecting, So you had a lot of sugar, a lot of sweets or something the day before and your insulin spikes up. Yeah. Then any fat burning that would have happened ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Because you shut it down. Yeah. You shut down that process. So what is your weakness with food? My weakness with food. I'm a foodie as much as, like I talk a lot about vegan food. I cook a lot of things. You vegan? Well, I eat a primarily vegan lifestyle, but I'm not a full vegan. Yeah, gotcha. People get that misconception. No, I still eat meat, but I just don't do it as often as I used to. I put it in a small box now, whereas I try to prioritize, plant-based stuff. I gotcha. But still, overeating. That's the thing, That's always the thing. Because we want to be full. Yeah, right? We want to feel that feeling of fullness, even though that's bad. You know what I'm saying? Too full. The brain almost has to catch up. And you're like, hold up. I think I was full. Yeah. But I don't want to be. My brain's telling me to keep eating. Yeah. It used to be sweets. That used to be the thing. I like, cookies, donuts, all those things, I never really like, candy, mm-hmm. but, like pastries and things like that, cakes. So I try to really push that off the table if I can. So more fruit, that's the replacement, So I have a smoothie, I eat bananas, apples, any kind of fruit, for the most part. and a lot of nuts. You know, so I replaced chips with nuts. So
Good.
I like me some Doritos, but I'm gonna have some cashews.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
you know, instead. So
It's French fries for me.
yeah,
That's
some
a
good French
weakness.
fries, man. You know,
Man.
that do it to you too.
Yeah. My doctor, that's the one thing she did say. She said, you know, I think there's like different types of cholesterols in your body.
Yeah,
or something
LDL,
like that.
HDL. Yeah.
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 She said that one, she said it's not crazy, but she said just be mindful of the chips.
The chips,
and
yeah.
the French fries and stuff
because
like
they're
that.
the oils. You know, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's really the difference, right? Eat a potato. It's not great, but it's not bad. Like they would try to market it to be, especially in the right portion. But the drenched food in oil, that's the difference.
That's the difference.
Yeah, especially the wrong kind of oil. If it's olive oil, heart healthy.
Yeah.
Hydrogenated corn oil and all that stuff, no good.
Yeah. And if you're making it at home, you can control it. But if you happen to be like for me, like I might go somewhere. Let's just say we went out to eat or something, and I was fine. I got the salmon, and then I had some spinach.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? Give me a side of fries. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, throw it in there.
Yeah.
Throw it in. I'm 60%. Let's get that other. You know.
Yeah. That's where I messed up at.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you could bake the fries. You bake them, then you take the oil out the equation.
The oil out
you
the
know.
equation. Yep.
So now you're just dealing with the white potato aspect. So that depends on who you are. That may or not be a good thing, but you know that's where you are at that point.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Just the oil is what I need to not mess with.
Yep. Keep that LDL, HDL intact. You know. I forget which one it is. That's the bad or what they call it bad or good. But
I forgot what she said.
Yeah.
I just heard stop eating so many French fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So any last words for the people about the spot? You know, talk about the spot, the location, just in case they missed it, or anything like that.
As far as the spot, I just want to say it's I'm just excited about it because of the location. I went to grammar school right next to where the spot is, so I hope to be able to highlight some of the youth artists and creators in the area, giving them a platform. If I can't do everything for them, a platform is much more than probably we ever had growing up. Yeah. Because of the times, just because of the times.
Yeah, whole different set of economics.
Exactly.
And technology and
technology,
stuff.
everything. So I'm just really excited about that. I think it's really going to be connected to my legacy. And as I get older, I start to think about like, man, like I don't want to control my legacy, but like, wow, like as you start to see what life is really about, it's like, when it's all said and done, this is the stuff that people are going to talk about. Yeah. You know, like when Coach Jason is not around, when you think of Coach Jason, what do you think about? Yeah. Like that's what's going to last forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sure. So, you know, I'm just excited about the spot. It's at 15 Wilkerson Ave. One-stop shop for everything creative, space-wise, for adults and youth, actually, resources. Because if we don't have it, we can delegate it to the right people. So I'm just really excited, and I just can't wait to see how it turns out. You know? Yeah,
I'm excited for you, man. Once you got a grand opening or whatever you plan to do to kick it off, and you know,
hopefully
open the
July,
doors.
I'm gonna let you know for the grand opening.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I'll be there with it, with everything. I'll be there with the camera and everything. Yeah. Make sure I document the process.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Because that's what it's all about. So.
This was a good talk, man. Therapeutic.
Thank you. Well, Sharif Shakoor, everybody. Glad to have you, man. Good seeing you.
Appreciate you, man.